And we're going to turn to the business news of the day now with Stephen Carroll, and we're going to start with looking at that Suez Canal expansion and the opportunities it really represents both for investors and the economy of the country.
That's right. Revenues from the canal are expected to double, more than double in fact, in the next 8 years thanks to its new expanded capacity. But the development is also bringing a chance to bring foreign investors back to Egypt. A delegation of French business people visited the canal recently to discuss potential projects. Our correspondents were there.
A preview tour of the new Suez Canal. A delegation of French businessmen visited the strategic waterway that links Europe to Asia. The canal, through which some 17,000 boats passed last year, is being expanded and deepened, which should increase the speed and frequency of shipping traffic.
To see how huge is the new project, you can imagine now that 8 months ago, this hill was connected with that one. This was desert, completely desert.
This flagship project of the Sissi presidency has been completed within 1 year, and the army has been its main supervisor, they say because of the growing insurgency in neighboring Sinai. The instability is scaring off some potential investors, but not others who are already working in Egypt.
There's no issue in terms of security for our businesses. We'll always be present in Egypt as long as they allow us to be. There are a lot of projects to come in our sector, particularly building new ports and tunnels under the Suez Canal. We're ready to help the Egyptian government take on this challenge.
Egyptian authorities have invited these businessmen to present them with another coming project, the development of a logistical and commercial hub along the entire canal, offering services and specialized industrial zones. It's a project in which French businesses are confident.
If the rate of reforms continue, it's a surprising example that could allow it to change the face of Egypt.
Relations between Cairo and Paris have remained strong since the sale of Rafale fighter jets, and French companies are hoping to capitalize on every opportunity the regime is offering.
To the United States next, and new rules on pay have been approved.
Most public companies in America will now be required to reveal the pay gap between their chief executives and their employees. The regulator, the Securities and Exchange Commission, approved the new rules on Wednesday. They'll require big firms to publish the ratio of bosses' pay packets to the midpoint of the pay scale for their employees. For example, according to figures compiled by the Associated Press, chief executives in the United States made about 205 times more than the average worker last year. It's been a hugely controversial proposal that's aimed at stopping companies from encouraging risk-taking with outlandish executive pay. The new rules set to come into force from 2017.
OK, so give us a look at what's happening on the market, Steve.
A pretty mixed picture in Asia today. We're seeing some gains in Tokyo in trading today, but falls on the Hang Seng in Hong Kong and on the Shanghai Composite. More jitters there over the Chinese economy. Investors looking forward to the US jobs report that's due tomorrow. Always one of those closely watched measures. Move on, though, with a look at some more of the day's business headlines for you. A strike by drivers has shut down London's tube network again today. The action began on Wednesday evening and will continue until Friday morning with no trains set to run. The drivers protesting over plans to run all-night services on the underground network at weekends from September. The oil drilling firm Transocean has recovered more than $700 million in insurance payouts stemming from the explosion at a Deepwater Horizon oil rig. Transocean owned and partially managed the rig, which exploded in 2010, killing 11 people and creating widespread environmental damage. The company saw profits in its second quarter fall sharply as demand for its drilling ships fell. And the owner of Zara and Bershka has passed €100 billion in value for the first time. Inditex, the world's largest clothing retailer, is now the most valuable company in Spain. Its share price has been boosted by a recovery in the Spanish economy and the weak value of the euro.
Finally, Stephen, a chance to buy a T-shirt that's really made to last.
It'll last for 30 years, in fact. That's the promise being made by the British designer Tom Cridland. He's selling the T-shirts on the crowdfunding site Indiegogo. They're cotton T-shirts, handmade in Portugal. They're selling for £25, I should say, or around €35. Now, Tom Cridland ran a similar project earlier this year. That's him there. That for a 30-year sweatshirt, that raised more than €70,000 online. Cridland says the clothes are guaranteed until 2045 and that he'll replace or mend any of them that show any wear or tear. But in terms of fashion, really, is it going to be exactly the same?
Oh, I think a
Can you
lot
go
of
wrong
men
with
would
a
be
t-shirt?
very happy to buy, 5 T-shirts and be set for the next couple of years. However, I wonder, is there any clauses how often you can wear the T-shirt and wash it? And
No, I don't think so.
every day? Okay.
Every day, yeah.
I can see men going for
We'll
that.
both have them
Stephen.
next week.
Stephen Carroll there, thanks very much for that business news.